week's ASMR video. Today is going to be something a little different. I'm going to be doing an unplanned ASMR video. I don't have anything written down, like notes to talk about, and I have no triggers with me. So everything I do is going to be off the cuff, and the triggers are all going to be either with my hands or my mouth. I do plan on whisper rambling quite a bit. So prepare yourself for a genuine ADHD brain. The first thing I wanted to mention is that I recently watched Hereditary. That's Hereditary, I think. Hereditary. My wife and I like to watch scary movies, especially during the Halloween season, and based on a lot of recommendations that we got from family members and family friends, we finally watched Hereditary. That is the first Ari Aster movie that we have watched. We do plan on watching Midsummer. But we haven't watched it yet. Also, if you're an Ari Aster fan, he's coming out with a new movie in 2026. If I remember correctly, it's called The Drama, so be prepared for that. Also, hopefully, this light back here, it's really an essential oil diffuser. And its secondary purpose, I guess, is as a light. I turned it on in the back of this video, obviously, because the dripping sounds of the water is super soothing to me. I hope that it will be for you too. It's kind of weird just making sounds with my mouth. I just recorded a mouth sounds video, which will probably come out the day before this one. And it's very strange looking at the camera and making mouth noises. A lot of the time that I was making like really intense mouth noises like this, I would cover my mouth because I feel like it's super weird to watch someone like wiggle their tongue around. I don't know. Like that noise. I feel like I would not want to watch somebody wiggle their tongue around to make that noise. It's a nice noise to listen to, but I don't want to watch it being made, you know? Speaking of scary movies, since I was talking about Hereditary and Midsummer, a few years ago, no, maybe like last year, I watched Skinamarink. That's S-K-I-N-A, M-A-R-I-N-K, Skinamarink. I watched Skinamarink, which is supposed to be one of the scariest movies ever. I watched it with my wife and my brother-in-law and my brother and sister-in-law. And no. It was not scary at all. In my opinion, I know horror movies are totally subjective. But I just didn't find it scary or even unnerving, and the tension, okay. So tension in movies is one of my favorite things that directors can do. Building tension, I feel like, is super hard, and the directors that do it well, it's just so impressive. It's so impressive when directors can build tension. I feel like it's a really fine line to walk, building tension and breaking tension, and the tricky thing is that you have to do both in a scary movie. You have to build tension, otherwise who cares about anything that's going on? tension, because if you just let it build and build and build, it feels unsatisfying. I don't want to spoil anything in case you like scary movies and plan on watching some from the last 10 years. But Skinamarink kind of reminded me of Paranormal Activity. To me, Paranormal Activity was like one of the worst horror movies. I feel like it was really overhyped. It did not do a good job of building tension. It released tension in a way, like the minimal tension that it did build, it released in a way that was unsatisfying. And it just wasn't scary. It wasn't a movie that stuck with me, and this is hard because I don't think that scary movies need to build tension and release tension really well to be scary. I don't really know what makes a scary movie scary. What I do know, though, is what movies stick with me. So, Skinamarink, for example, I watched that, and then 10 minutes later, nothing about the movie was in my head except the idea that that movie was really bad and totally not scary. The Babadook, that was a really good movie, really good horror movie. Actually, just a really good movie in general, which is rare for a horror movie, I think. That movie I still routinely think about probably like once a month, which is unheard of for me, and horror movies. I don't think it was like super unnerving, but there were parts of it that just stuck in my head for some reason. And I feel like that's a good sign of a scary movie. Hereditary, I don't think was particularly scary, but it was a good movie, and I think it did a really good job of building tension. I think The Grudge is the scariest movie that I've ever watched, and I don't know if that's a fair assessment of that movie. Because I watched that movie when I was in 6th grade, so that gives you an idea of how old I am. That was like the first really scary movie that I watched. I had seen Scream before that, which I absolutely love, but I don't think it's a good horror movie. I think it's a good, like, cult classic, or I don't even know what to call it. It's like it's a good, like, a slasher. I don't know. I feel like slashers are in a different category than horror movies. They're not really horror, although they are different. Somehow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I put them in a different category, but anyway, I'd seen Scream before that, and that kind of movie didn't really scare me, but The Grudge freaked me out for years. And I recently went back and watched a scene from The Grudge because I wasn't sure if having watched it in 6th grade was the reason that it freaked me out so much, because it was the first really scary movie that I'd ever seen. So I wasn't sure if it was because it was a really scary movie or because I watched it when I was not used to watching scary movies. And this scene that I watched like a year ago maybe still kind of freaked me out. So I think it was just a super scary movie. And that was the first really scary movie that I watched. I kind of wanted to go back and watch The Grudge in its entirety to see if I still think it's a scary movie. I suspect that I would, but I really don't know. I would love to know if you guys have recommendations for other scary movies. I really like psychological thrillers. I don't have a really good example of one. Actually, I do. David Lynch is a kind of an infamous director in Hollywood, and I think his movies are good examples of psychological thrillers. Although actually I don't think that's really an apt description of his movies. They're just kind of weird. He had a movie called Inland Empire, and there's a scene in that movie right in the beginning that has also stuck with me, and it makes me really uncomfortable every time I watch it. There's a conversation between this older kind of creepy woman and the main character in the movie, and the older woman is a neighbor, and she comes over and she's all like frantic, and she sits down to have a conversation with the main character, and she's in the living room, and the camera is, well, I'll just pretend that the camera is where the camera is, and the older woman is having a conversation with the main character who's over there, and she keeps going like this. She'll be talking, and she'll move her head over as if she's about to look at the camera, but then she never does, and then it flashes to the main character, and it comes back to the woman, and she'll be talking like this to the main character, and her head is moving like she's about to look at the camera, but then she doesn't. And that kind of thing really freaked me out. I think it's the threat of breaking the fourth wall that's kind of weird to me. And there's a scene in Hereditary that actually did the same thing. if you don't want spoilers, then I guess skip ahead like 20 seconds to be safe. There's a scene toward the end of the movie where the mother is, well, actually, it's kind of nasty. She's doing this motion. She's suspended in the air, and she's doing this, and she's looking down at the main character, the boy in the movie, and that's where the camera is almost there. So she's looking like this. If you were the camera in the movie, she's looking like that, and she's doing this motion. I won't say specifically what it is, but she's looking almost at the camera and that kind of thing. That scene stuck with me. That, like, it freaks me out. There's another movie, I can't remember the name of it, but it's starring the guy who played Todd in Breaking Bad. I'll put the name of the movie somewhere so that you know the name of the movie. It's starring that character, and there's a scene right in the beginning of the movie. This is not really a spoiler, although it kind of is. So if you plan on watching the movie, maybe don't watch the next 20 seconds again. There's a scene in the beginning where he's driving to his parents' house, and he has his fiance or girlfriend or in the car with him. And the camera is up in the back, the rear driver's side of the car, and it's pointing down at the passenger, who is the woman. And the woman she'll be like talking to the main character, and then she'll look at the camera, and then she'll look back, and it's so freaky for no reason at all. That's not a horror movie. It's more like I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of like I guess, psychological thriller, kind of. It was a strange movie, but that scene really sticks out in my mind, and I think that I keep forgetting to stop talking and do other sounds. I think that idea really kind of freaks me out, where in that movie, they break the fourth wall because she looks directly at the camera for no reason. But in the other movies, it's the threat of breaking the fourth wall that seems freaky to me. And that's really cool. I am going on 24 minutes recording time. I'll probably have to cut stuff out and it'll be shorter, but my goal is to keep things around 20 minutes, so I'm gonna cut the video here. I don't know what this video was. Like I said, it was totally unplanned. I didn't have triggers planned. I didn't have any talking topics planned. I watched Hereditary recently, and I decided, let's just talk about it. So I hope you found this video entertaining, and I apologize if you didn't. In either case, though, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video.